The elites have been building bunkers all over the place in anticipation of this event. Governments around the world have built DUMBs, which is an acronym for Deep Underground Military Bases. In fact, one of the most well-known is the giant underground city that they have built deep under the Denver, Colorado airport. They have even built a doomsday seed vault in Norway.
Just look at the landscape around us and how remote this is. And then jutting out of the side of this Arctic mountain is the Svalbard Global Seed Vault. And we have all been very excited to actually get inside and see for ourselves how what's being done here plays a very vital role when it comes to trying to mitigate against the consequences of climate change. So this is it.
This is it. This is the vault. This is what is built for humanity to survive. This is the Svalbard Global Seed Vault. It's here since 2008, built by the government of Norway, and it's one of the most amazing things you're going to see in your life. Yep, they look funny, but they protect you against ice falling down in the vault.
It's that cold.
It's that cold. So that's about 150 meters down into the mountain. This is becoming the permafrost here in granite. They built this like they built the tunnels in the Alps with a big machine, big excavator. Took about 2 years to build. And it's built to last for a very long time. This is meant to be your way out if the power fails, if there is no lights, so you find your way out of the vault. So the seed deposit works like with any bank and a safe deposit storage in the basement of the bank. You bring your own seeds. You, as a depositing institution, you own them and you keep them, and only you can determine what happens with them. This is the main door to the active vault, one of the 3 vaults that we have. It's all frozen up because inside it's minus 18 Celsius year-round. And this is typically the place everyone wants to have a picture taken. This is world agriculture behind that door. Everything you're going to need for the world to survive in terms of agriculture is safely kept here for the future. We have 860,000 types of crops. Each probe has 100 to 1,000 corns. So if you look at the number of individual grains in here, it could be close to 1 billion.
My nose is going to fall off already.
You need to keep warm here with everything that you can. And when you go inside, it gets colder because of the draft of the AC. You could go back to Svalbard and recreate agriculture in the world, which I find an amazing concept.
In the event of a cataclysmic occurrence, this would stay and preserve these seeds for how long?
We have minus 18 Celsius in here. It would go up to minus 8, minus 7 after a few years. But then even at that temperature, most of the seeds can stay for many, many years. 10, 20, 30 years time. So you have a lot of time to think about what to do, even if power fails here and doesn't get restored. It's a safe place.
It is truly remarkable and such a unique experience. You know, the general population doesn't have access to this vault, and we're among the few who have actually been inside. And as Michael said, it really does make you pause and think about how what is being done here is really helping to safeguard our future.
As I've already said, the greatest threat before the pole shift is the meteorites. What is the point of building a deep underground bunker if the planet gets whacked by a massive meteorite, similar to what happened to the dinosaurs, which was another time Nibiru got too close? Thus, NASA have been put in charge of space defense against the really big asteroids. They have come up with the OSIRIS-REx, which will blast off from Florida in September 2016. It is set to go into orbit around the Earth. Even though they claim they are sending it to an asteroid dubbed Bennu, this is just a cover story. OSIRIS-REx is designed to take out the really big asteroids that were dragged here by Nibiru and get too close to Earth. They can range from Mount Everest size to house size. So basically they're what we call an extinction level event size asteroid. But what about the smaller ones that get past OSIRIS-REx? Well, once again, NASA is on the job. As a last defense from the threat of asteroids striking the Earth, scientists are preparing to test high-energy lasers to blast rocks to vapor. Experts based at California's Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory will power up strong energy beams to see if they can destroy the asteroids. Initial testing has been successful. They were able to blast meteorites on the ground and reduce them to dust. LLNL's Megan Bruck-Sile said, "It's not a matter of if, but when an asteroid strikes. Our challenge is to figure out how to avert disaster before it happens." NASA's attempt to take out the main asteroids is admirable, and I feel it will actually benefit us greatly. However, they even admit they can't get all of them. To survive a meteor strike from a basketball-sized block of iron travelling at terminal velocity from space is like trying to protect yourself from a direct nuclear strike. You would have to still be at least 2 to 2.5 kilometres or 1.5 miles underground to have any chance of survival from a direct hit. What is really important is that you need to be as far away from the cities as possible before the meteorites really start to pile in. Like I said, it will be like an artillery bombardment, so roads may be destroyed. People panic and all food in the shopping centres will be cleaned out within 3 to 4 hours. Most people only keep 3 days worth of food in their house. So like it or not, there will be panic, then rioting for food. Eventually, bands of hungry, scared and angry people will go door to door in search of food, and they will not care who they kill to get it. So like I said, you need to be as far away from this as possible, as it could go on for at least a month. When the pole shift and global floods come, the geological forces could crush a bunker like a soda can. If you push a can on the ends, it's hard to squash it, but if you squeeze it from the sides, it's really easy. So, if the bunker is constructed in the correct way facing the right way, then it should survive, but if not, it'll just be flooded and crushed. One thing I know about the elites is that they leave nothing to chance. But something tells me they may be going to their graves when they enter those bunkers. They actually believe that they will survive. They think they will surface, act like saviours and rescue any surface survivors. They will offer you food, water and shelter. In return, you must pledge your dying loyalty to them and work in the new fields to produce food for your new lords. It will be back to feudalism. But the universe has other plans. The whole reason why this is happening is to wipe the slate clean. Humans, particularly those that put themselves above everyone else, have created such a negative vibration that the earth has to shake itself clean. Society is now so corrupt, so debased, and so deplorable that the only way to fix it now is to reboot and start again. It has happened on at least 5 other occasions where 99% of all life was wiped out, but the earth always comes back and life will thrive again. It is for this reason that I believe the old world elite class will not make it. Perhaps many will go off the planet in spaceships and stay there, or colonise Mars. Maybe all the ones that stay on Earth will die. I'm not sure. None of the maps of today will be reliant after the pole shift. All of the continents will be in new positions and many countries will be gone altogether. However, some new lands will rise. In the Northern Hemisphere, there will be a mini ice age for at least 20 to 25 years. According to Mother Shipton's prophecy, it is at this point that some extraterrestrial friends will land and give a hand. They will supply the humans with free energy technology, new medical technology, new engineering, spiritual knowledge. At this point, all of the children will be born with the second sight, or psychic ability. This will hearken the new golden age, possibly around 2060 plus or minus 10 years. If you can't get a ticket into the elite's bunkers and you don't have access to a rocket ship to get you off the planet, then there are a few other things we can do. From a purely practical and material standpoint, I present my invention, the ZAV-2. I personally think the only way to survive a pole shift on the physical plane is to be in a semi-submersible, a new ark as such. It worked for Zayasudra, who was later turned into Noah, and it worked in the people in the movie 2012. A semi-submersible is something that can be tossed around like a cork, be completely submerged at times, and be self-righting to always surface the right way up. You would need to store food, water and seeds, maybe even some chickens, goats, pigs and a sheep or two. I think it would be several months before you could make landfall. Look, I'm not an engineer, I'm not a boat builder, but I have done a lot of sailing in my time. So I came up with a design I believe would work, but I neither have the money nor the technical know-how to build it. But I hope by presenting it, someone out there does and will be able to make it and save their friends and family. It could hold about 48 people plus supplies. I call it the Zayasudra Ark version 2 or ZAV-2 for short. It's around 24 metres long and 4 metres high, 6 metres wide. It's oval shape, which is strong and can roll in the water as need be, and it's least resistant to water. The outside skin is hardened steel and iron plate like a submarine. The inner core is made of aluminium or aluminum, as you say in America. It's got ribbing inside like you would see in a milk tanker, and it's gimbaled. Gimbaled just means it'll always stay horizontal, the right way up. So it swings inside. So while the outside's being tossed around like a cork, the inside will always stay the right way up. It also allows extra protection because if the outside hull is damaged, you're still inside the capsule inside and you won't drown. And for that reason, I would build it in two separate modules, the outer and the inner, and then bring them together. It has a mast and a keel that can be raised or lowered. It has a small electric motor for when the water is calm to get you around. The sail could also be covered in flexible solar panels. The solar panels would create electricity for the boat's lighting, refrigeration, water pumps, for showers, motors, lots of things. There is room for 48 bunks, but you could scale this design up or down to increase or decrease the amount of people on board. It would use composting toilets and recycled water showers with technology that's already available today. It could store enough food and water for 3 months or so. It could also carry chickens, goats, plus seeds, hand farming equipment, fishing gear, nets and basic building tools. You could even make room for a couple of those 4x4 off-road quad bikes or some trail bikes or kayaks, for later exploration. You can download a PDF version of my drawings from the link in the description, and I would appreciate a small donation. The ZAV-2 is great to save non-spiritual people, and let's face it, that's most of the world. Have you seen the movie Knowing from 2009 with Nicolas Cage? In that movie, there is a sudden extinction level event and some strange alien species come to Earth to save some children who they hope will restart humanity. Like many of those kind of movies, there is some truth in it. The Pleiadians told me that they will be calling certain children between the ages of 6 and 10 years old equal boys and girls. These are old soul children who will intuitively be able to pick up the signal. They will be directed to a location, and from there they will be picked up and taken off-world. They hope to collect around 2,600 of these children from every race and country on the planet. No adults will be taken. I realise how difficult it will be for parents to let their children go, and that is why many of the parents will actually die leading up to the pole shift. I know this sounds cold and callous, but it is a reality we now have to deal with. Plus, those parents' souls already chose this before they came here. As for the adults, the Palladians have another plan. Like the children, adults that can quieten their mind and tune in will be directed to safe havens all over the planet. Once in position, the people will need to unite in consciousness and send out a beacon. Think of it like a beam of light. This is how the Palladians on the fourth dimension will find you. They will create a bubble around you that is in fact part of the fourth dimension. By raising the vibration around you, they in effect create a small bubble that is vibrating higher than that of the third dimension around it. That means that whatever is happening on the third dimension, you will not even be aware of it. In effect, you will no longer be on the third dimension. You would just appear like a ghost. So nothing can harm you. Fairies, divas, and many aliens have been using this technique for centuries to hide from people. Once everything has calmed down, the bubble is lowered and you will be back on the third dimension. There will be devastation all around except for the area the bubble covered. This will be pristine. This was the scene I was shown of the people living happy in the lush and fertile hills. The final option is the best one, but now also the hardest for most people. That, of course, is full ascension. If you fully ascend, that means transforming your body into a light body and raising your vibration to the fifth dimension. I will create a separate video to cover this, but be aware it is not easy and maybe only 1 in 500 people will be able to succeed. Anyway, let's look at the final part of this series. In the next video, we'll cover solutions.